Hi everyone, I'm Kat and welcome to my channel, Naturally Beautiful Girl. So today I'm bringing you a video where I'm going to talk about RMS Beauty. And one of the products I of course am going to be talking about is their new powder highlighters. But I've tried out a number of different products from the brand, and so I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts on the brand in general and on the products that I've been trying. I recently did a mini RMS haul when I picked up this highlighter. I posted my kind of unboxing of that haul on my Instagram, so if you want to see like little mini haul unboxings, make sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle's at naturallybeautifulgirl and I do those in my stories. I want to focus on those products, but I kind of want to give you my thoughts on really all the products I've tried out from RMS Beauty. So this is going to be a bit of a brand overview. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be demoing products in this video. Logistically at the moment, I don't have time. I'm having a hard enough time finding time in my life to film and edit videos. If you guys don't know already, I am finishing up my thesis. I am getting ready to move, and the exciting news is I have a job. So if you guys heard about my interview that I had, I did in fact get a job offer for that job, and it was a dream job. It was a job that when I applied for, I was like, there's no way I'll get this job, but I'll apply for it anyway because it'd be really awesome if I did. And then I got a job offer. So I'm super excited, but I'm going to be starting that job in April, which is way earlier than I anticipated. I completely understand that they just needed someone to start ASAP. And I am that person. My life is just like, long story short, you're not getting demos in this video, but I am going to swatch the products and tell you which ones I have on currently. And one more thing I keep forgetting is I need to thank all of you guys because we've hit 2,000 subscribers and my mind is just blown. Like this spring, so many exciting, amazing things are happening in my life, and honestly, hitting 2,000 subscribers is right up there with all the other things that are going on in terms of things that I'm really excited and really proud of, because when I started this channel, I thought if I had like 100 subscribers, I would be lucky. If people even watched my videos, I would be lucky. And I'm just completely mind-boggled to think that there are 2,000 people that have subscribed to my channel, and I want to thank each and every single one of you for subscribing. You guys mean the world to me, and I would not be here without you. So thank you so much, and yay! And let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this product because this is the one that you are probably most curious about, and this is the new powder highlighter from RMS Beauty. There are 3 shades of the highlighter. The shade I have is Grande, and this is the lightest shade of the highlighter. And I do have this highlighter applied on my cheeks today. I have a few thoughts on this. First off, it is one of the most beautiful highlighters I've seen in non-toxic beauty. I've got it on my finger here. Let's swatch it for you guys. Problem is it's so close to my skin tone, it's hard to get to apply. Okay, there we go. I've got a swatch on my hand here. You can see where it's reflecting the light. It's a really just beautiful, beautiful highlighter. It looks creamy on the skin. The texture of the powder itself is not super creamy, but it looks on the skin to me like what Anastasia Beverly Hills highlights look like when I see them on people. It has that look, and I honestly have tried out so many different highlighters in non-toxic beauty, and I've never ever seen a highlighter quite like this. It is beautiful. I have a love-hate relationship with the packaging. Aesthetically, the packaging is beautiful. It's got like this acrylic packaging, the white, it says RMS Beauty on it. It's got a huge mirror and, you know, a large pan of the powder, which is good because this was expensive. I don't remember how much it cost, but all of RMS Beauty is a little bit on the high price point side of things. But my hate with the packaging is it's plastic and it's huge. Like this is just bulky. It's large. Like I have small hands, but this is basically larger than the palm of my hand. I love how it looks, but I also am just like, it's so bulky and it's hard to store. Even though it does have a mirror in it, it's not very like portable, travel friendly either because it's so bulky, and it's actually really heavy, which feels nice. The packaging feels very expensive and very luxe. It's just bulky. My other complaint I have with the highlighter is a little bit of a complaint with the shade. So I do have the lightest shade. There are 3 shades of the highlighter, which shout out to RMS Beauty for making a highlighter that comes in 3 different shades, because it does make it more accessible for more skin tones. However, The issue is that this is the fairest shade and it's a little bit deeper than what I would like as someone with a fair porcelain skin tone. I'm going to just put this out here because this irked me a little bit. I was posting about this product on my Instagram stories during my haul, and when I saw it and opened it up, I said, you know, this is a little bit deeper than I would like for the lightest highlighter shade to be, especially someone with a fair skin tone. And RMS Beauty commented on my stories, like they responded and were like, well, just wait till the light catches it. And I was just like, I've had my skin tone for the past 26 years. I know what looks good on my skin. Like, I don't need you telling me, wait till you see it in the light. Like, the formula is beautiful. I have nothing against the formula, but if the base product itself had just been a little bit lighter, it would have worked better as a highlighter for people with fair skin, because this is about my skin tone. Like, if you hold it up next to my face, it looks about like the same color as my face. And even though it is a light reflecting product, it's not actually like highlighting in that it's not lighter than my skin tone. So yes, it looks nice on and it looks better on camera, I think, than it does in person. In person, you can definitely see it. I'm looking in a mirror right now, but in person, you can definitely kind of see where it's a little darker, but light reflecting at the same time. I think the light I'm filming with is making it look better in my monitor than it is in real life. In real life, it looks a smidge deep for my skin tone. So RMS Beauty, you still need a lighter shade for fair porcelain skin tones. And I've gotten to a point recently, I will put this out here and I will say this to any brand. If you're coming out with a cosmetic product and you want someone with a porcelain fair skin tone to give you feedback about the shade, I will gladly give you feedback about shades. I really want to make this better because I know I'm not the only one that has a really fair skin tone, and I just get really frustrated with products that are not quite right for fair skin tones. So if you are a brand and you are seeing this, if you want to send me something, a sample to test out, give you feedback on, I will gladly do that. I want to help make shades actually work for people. And I do think I can help with fair porcelain skin tones because I am super fair. So that being said, I think if you have a light to medium skin tone, you will love the shade Grande. If you have porcelain fair skin, not the best shade. A beautiful highlighter, as you can see, like stunning highlighter, just not the best shade. But luckily there are two kind of deeper shades as well. So if you do have an even deeper skin tone than light medium, you can find a highlighter that will work for you. The problem is just on the fair end of the spectrum. The next product I have been testing out has been this eyeshadow trio. This is the Swift eyeshadow trio, and it's got 3 metallic eyeshadows in it. It's got Love Letter, Heartbreaker, and Secret Fling. I think this is a limited edition Black Friday eyeshadow trio, and then they added it to the line, but I still don't know if it's limited edition or not. But I picked it up when I was placing my order because I don't know, I've just been feeling pink eyeshadows recently and I just really like the colors in this. And I'm wearing this middle shade right here. This is Heartbreaker all over my lid. I believe that you cannot purchase these 3 shadows individually. I know that there are Swift shadows, which I've never tried those, which is part of why I wanted to try this palette. I think you have to purchase this palette to get these shades, is what I'm saying. And I do really like this palette. The one thing is, because they're all metallic shades, at least for me, I do end up reaching for a matte shade to blend in my crease. I also ended up using the highlighter in Grande as my inner corner highlight to further support my point that highlighting shade is not light enough for me, because like it really is not brightening my inner corner that much because it's pretty close to my skin tone, so it's not doing much. But I do really like these. The metallic obviously is really metallic. When I was swatching them, here I'll swatch them for you. When I was swatching them, they don't come across the best, but when I put them on top of a eyeshadow primer, they do become much more metallic. So I really do recommend applying all metallic eyeshadows with an eyeshadow primer. It really does just help to build up the metallicness. But here are the 3 shades swatched here. And yeah, they definitely are metallic. But like I said, when I use an eyeshadow primer, they are even more intense. So I really do like these. I do like the packaging up better. It is plastic once again, which plastic's not the best packaging, but it is really petite, which is nice. It doesn't have a mirror, but it's something you can easily take with you traveling. like I said, you probably do want a matte crease shade. It is nice and it was cute, and the price was not too bad on this if I remember. I think it was around $25-ish, which compared to most RMS products, not too bad. So yeah, I definitely have been enjoying this. I would recommend it. I like it. Works well. The eyeshadow's, like I said, pigmented, very metallic. The colors are really lovely. Not really anything to complain about there. I'm going to move on to talking about some of their cream products. And I have been a diehard lover of the RMS Living Luminizer. I've talked about this in so many videos. So here is the RMS Living Luminizer swatch up there. But you can see how much more light reflecting that is and how much more brightening it is compared to the powder highlighter. Like I said, just a better shade. And so I really love that product. Part of the reason I did the haul that I did with RMS Beauty was they were having a special for Valentine's Day where if you purchase a certain value of products, then you would get a free Amethyst Rose Luminizer. And this is a purple luminizer that was limited edition for Rosemary Swift's birthday, which I guess her birthday is Valentine's Day, which is kind of cool. I was really curious about this and I have tried this out a few times. I'm gonna swatch this here next to the Living Luminizer. So the Amethyst highlighter is up here. You can see it's definitely got a bit of a purple reflect to it. It doesn't show up too purple in the cheeks, which is kind of nice. It does just kind of catch the light. I thought it was going to be more pigmented, but I'm glad it's not. It works well as a highlighter. If you're comparing the Living Luminizer and the Amethyst Rose Luminizer, the Living Luminizer is definitely a higher impact highlight. But this is fun, and who doesn't like purple? Well, at least I like purple, but I think it's just a fun product. If you want a more editorial look or you just really enjoy playing with color, that's a good product to go for. I think it's still available. I don't really understand RMS's limited edition versus not limited edition, because I thought that was limited edition, but then I think I saw some knocking around on their website recently, so I don't know what's going on with that, but it is nice. It's just not as punchy as the Living Luminizer. And then in an odd turn of events, I ended up with the Beauty bronzer, and I did not purchase this. It just came in my box, and I checked on my receipt, and I didn't order it. Part of me was like, I should call them and try and return it, but I also was just like, the few times I've had companies send me the wrong thing, it has been a huge hassle for me to get it straightened out, involving multiple trips to the post office, and I was just like, okay, it ended up in my box, must have been meant to be, so I'm gonna keep it. But I ended up with the Beauty bronzer, and this is a cream bronzer. It's got a similar formula to the two cream highlighters. So it's got a little bit of a glow to it. It's not a totally matte bronzer. I've got it swatched right here. It's okay. It's a little bit reddish on me, so it's not my favorite bronzer shade, but I can make it work. I just have to be careful with my blending. It is nice to have a cream bronzer because I do wear a lot of cream blush and cream highlight. So I really like, if I'm wearing cream highlight and cream blush, to also use a cream bronzer if I'm going to use a bronzer. I'm just not a big fan of a bronzer. I think because I'm so fair, it's hard for me to find the perfect shade, so a lot of times it just looks a little weird on me. But you know, it works. It's not my favorite. Like I said, I think if you had a little bit of a deeper skin tone, this shade would probably work a little better. But yeah, I can make it work, especially since it just ended up with me. Those are the new products that I was trying out and testing out. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of some previous products that I've had. One product that I've had for a long time has been the RMS Beauty Unpowder. I've used a lot of this. I still have a tiny bit left, and I probably would have gone all the way through this, but I ended up finding the 14E powder, and I just like this one better. The RMS Unpowder though, if you want to set something in place and not have it move an inch, this is a powder for you. Like, this will lock everything into place. With that being said, I think if you have dry skin, it may be a little bit too intense for you. It's definitely something with my oily skin that I find works well. But I just like the 14E better because it's not quite as drying. And yes, it doesn't set everything quite as well as the RMS Unpowder, but I like the overall look it gives better. But like I said, if you want something to not budge, there's no powder in Non-Toxic Beauty that competes with the RMS Beauty Unpowder in terms of setting ability. I also at one point had the RMS Uncover Up. I have decluttered it, and the reason I really never fell totally in love with the Uncover Up is the shade. I got a bad shade match in that. So I had the shade 00, and that was just too dark. I needed the shade 000, so 3 zeros instead of 2 zeros. That's really why I never fully got into that concealer. And I decluttered it, and I ended up finding a lot of other concealers that I just like a lot. As you guys know, I've got the Fitglow, the Hand Skincare, the Pacifica. Like, those are some concealers that are just my ride or die concealers, and so I never really felt the need to go back and try the 000 of the Uncover Up. I think also because it wasn't a pot and it was a little heavier, it did have a lot of coconut oil in it. The doe foot applicators on the other concealers are just much easier for me to work with personally. Initially, there was not much on the market to compete with the Uncover Up, but I think now there are a lot of really amazing concealers in non-toxic beauty. And from remembering how I like the Uncover Up to thinking about how I like the concealers I'm using now, I prefer the concealers I'm using now. Was it bad? No, it's just a little heavy and thick, but if you really want a heavy duty concealer and you don't want a liquid doe foot applicator concealer, that is a good one. I also really like the Hint Beauty Duet Concealer. I use that to conceal acne spots, so that's another good option as well for a pot concealer. And I also have one of their lipsticks. This is the Wild with Desire lipstick, and I have the shade Pretty Vacant. I'm wearing it on my lips currently. It is this really beautiful kind of hot pink shade. It's not really hot pink, it's also got a little bit of a warm tone to it. I really do like this lipstick shade. It is super pigmented and a really, really unique color. I've tried out a lot of lipsticks and not really found a lipstick shade quite like this. Is it my favorite formula? No, but it is pretty comfortable. It's not the most long wearing, but I like it. It's pretty, it's fun, and the pigmentation is definitely there. If you see a shade in the lipstick formula that's like really drawing you, I would try it out. I think the Ilia Color Black lipsticks are a little bit better in formula, but these are just going to fade and transfer throughout the day. That's really the main drawback with the Wild with Desire lipstick formula. Okay, so I think I want to wrap up this video by just giving you some overall thoughts on RMS Beauty. People have very mixed opinions about RMS Beauty. RMS Beauty, I applaud for being one of the early brands in non-toxic beauty and one of the early brands to really get mainstream recognition. They were one of the first non-toxic beauty brands in Sephora, and really when I was starting out in non-toxic beauty, that was one of the brands that I was hearing about a lot. So in that way, I think they're a pioneer, and a pioneer especially into more mainstream beauty. I hear a lot of conventional beauty YouTubers talking about the RMS Beauty Living Luminizer and Magic Luminizer, which is amazing that they made a product that really crosses over from non-toxic beauty into conventional beauty. Drawbacks about the brand, they do have a quite high price point, and there are a lot more affordable brands now appearing in non-toxic beauty, and you know, in order to have these high price points, you really have to have the performance that matches that price point. And with some products, I definitely think that they are worth it. Some maybe not as much. I think they could stand to lower their prices slightly. I think it would make them more competitive. They also use a lot of coconut oil in their products, which it would be better not to use the coconut oil. I don't have as much of an issue with it being in like concentrated regions on my face. I do have an issue if it's like in a foundation, I'm slathering it all over my face, or even worse in skincare products. I've never really experienced breakouts from the coconut oil and RMS Beauty products. It's just something to keep in mind. Also, another thing about the brand to keep in mind too is they did have a little bit of a history of fear mongering in green beauty, but I have noticed recently, because I do follow them on social media, that I feel like they've been doing that less because there has been a more public outcry against doing that in non-toxic beauty. So they would be, you know, kind of, yeah, fear-mongering about ingredients. And I personally don't do that on my channel. As you guys know, I just tell you what I like, what I don't like. And I really try not to take that fear-mongering approach to green beauty. And RMS Beauty did have a history of doing that. But like I said, I do think they have kind of slowed down on doing that, which is good. Regardless of what your thoughts are on RMS Beauty, I did want to just share with you my experience trying out these products. So in case you are interested in any of them, you will know my thoughts. I've not really found a product from RMS Beauty that I've hated. So there is something to it. There is something for it being so popular and so we're well respected in the community. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also check out my Instagram. I'll have my handle down below. I'm at naturallybeautifulgirl. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!